Steuben. Steuben? Stu.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, you made it. Steuben, what the heck just happened?
I don't know, man. I think we were in Pittsburgh.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I came back with this cool, nifty Pittsburgh Steelers hat.
Oh wow,
They lost yesterday, but it's
you
okay.
hit the souvenir shop. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe. I mean, hey, we're back. Seems like we're back here. Gust to Win podcast. What's going on, y'all? Gazerine 2K here with Steuben. Gust to Win podcast is going on. We just blew in, and this is weird, man. Stu, how was your weekend?
It was busy. I ran the Digimon tournament, unfortunately, for the store on Sunday with some a little bit of drama, but we're not gonna talk about that. And Saturday had a nice day with Emily, and we went and grocery shopped and did a whole bunch of other little retail therapy kind of nonsense, and nothing crazy. How about you?
So you blew a lot of money?
No, not really.
Okay, good. But you got mad at some Digimon players.
Oh yeah. That's we're not gonna dive into that here. If you wanted the full scoop, go look at my Twitter account.
Is this one of those after dark, after pod kind of things?
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Spicy. But no, myself, Friday I picked up my stepdaughter, picked up Manaya, and took with me to my locals, and she got to play a little bit. She's getting into playing the game now. She's starting to have fun with it. I wasn't sure how serious she was, so I bought her the Corviknight V starter deck, and that deck is bad, man.
I think any of the V battle decks are absolutely awful.
It's so bad. There was one that came out recently that had like decent trainers. Like, hey, look, research. Hey, look, Boss's Order. It had something decent. Marnie or something. I was like, okay. But the Corviknight one's bad. But I got that for her. And then Saturday I played at we have a stadium over here where our AAA baseball team plays, Deshancey Park, the Grizzly Stadium. And we had there was a card convention going on at the stadium. And one of my local shops held a tournament. And I was like, oh, cool. It's a double winner box. I'm going to go in here and dominate. I took 11th.
Typical Gazer fashion.
Took 11th out of like 19 people. So, yeah. I played Zoroark. You know that. Yeah. I ran into 2 Zoroark. I ran into 2 of the mirrors. Whoever wins the coin flip wins. Although one of the mirrors, the guy and I, we both bricked on our turns where we could attack. We both bricked. We're like, wow, we suck at this game. But yeah, I ran into 2 Zoroark mirrors, lost those. I beat Giratina, which is a good matchup for me. I beat Shadow Rider, which is a good matchup, and I lost to Reggie Gigas because I don't play Dunsparce.
Okay.
No one plays fighting around here.
Well,
but then Sunday,
you dug your own grave. You dug your own grave that way.
Not the first time. It's been about 4. This happened to me about 4 times. There's like 3 people who There's one guy who plays Reggie Gigas like religiously, and there's been 2 other people recently who are like, you know what? I'm gonna try it, and they tried, and they just happen to run into me, and I'm like, wow, maybe I'll learn my lesson one day, but probably not. Sunday. Myself and Manaya, I built her the Blissey V deck. I did this before. Did well in the Lille region. I built a Blissey V with Miltank. Took it to my regional. I played out of there was 8 of us on the side event. There was a team challenge. There's another 8 on the team challenge. She played 2 on the side, just having a good, just play for funsies. Got a feel for the deck. Guess where I finished out of 8 people?
4th.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Of course I did.
Typical Gazer fashion. Halfway down the middle.
Gazer, right down the middle. Yep. If everyone's playing, and if people weren't playing in the team event, it would have been 16. So I probably would have been 4th out of 16, that's good, right?
Yeah, you probably would have finished 8th.
8th
out of 16.
Man, but no. After that, I came to the house, watched a little football. Unfortunately, the Pittsburgh Steelers were on, and they did not win a game. It was a weird game, man. The score was like 10-16. At halftime, and it stayed that way for the rest of the game. But I do have this Pittsburgh Steelers hat. It is my wife's. This Jazzy. She's a big Pittsburgh fan. She was born there, and I had to get a little dressed up because I heard we have company coming by. So I put on the button up. I put on the hat. I had to represent. So I just want to look nice for when our company gets here.
Oh, well, how considerate of you. I'll continue to wear a t-shirt and a beanie, just like I always do, because I'm comfortable in my own home.
At least brush your hair once, man? Maybe comb it?
It's curly. It's curly hair. What do you want me to do? Curl it even more and have an afro?
Yes.
All right.
We have company on the way, man.
We'll make it a goal. We'll make it a goal one day. I'll afro out my hair for you. Is that what you want?
Emily, is Emily going to do it for you?
I mean, probably she'll have to. I'll need some assistance. I don't know how to use a curling iron.
Oh man, Emily would love that. Champion Curdy, they would have a good time, man. But no, I heard we had guests coming. heard they're blowing in from out of town somewhere. So I had to get the nice gear on and everything like that, man. I'm looking forward to these guys. They've been doing this thing that we're doing. Like, we suck at this thing, this whole podcasting thing. We're not that great at it. I know you think you're good at it, Sue, but you're not.
I think we blow, if anything.
Yeah. I get what you get there. Blow, Gust, I see what you did there. But yeah, I hear these guys are blowing into town. They've been doing this podcast thing for a while. They're really good at it. There's a couple of them. They're from what's that place? Starts with a P. What am I'm thinking of, Subin? Not Philadelphia, but
Pennsylvania.
That place. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yeah. There's a couple guys coming through, right? Are they here yet, or I'm waiting to see if they're going to get here or what's happening?
Yes. We've just blown in.
They're here. It's Subin.
I just got in. My room's a mess. It's real windy over here. It's I don't know. I just blame.
It's almost
Gazer.
like the gust of wind came through like your studio or something like that.
Yes, it blew through Chuck's studio and knocked all his background posters off the wall.
I can't keep a poster on the wall.
Here.
All I got is a Lone Out Creamy in the back, and I was just told to blame Gazer for this.
Somehow it's always Gazer's fault.
Remember to use the hashtag blame Gazer.
Why is this still a thing?
Because it's hilarious.
So we want to introduce our guests.
Yeah, so today we are joined by the lovely duo Jake and Chuck from Triple P, the Pittsburgh Pokemon podcast. These guys are super awesome. I was a guest on their pod way back. And let's break the fourth wall. Technically, we just recorded an episode with them. So if you want the full experience, please go check out their episode. That'll also be out sometime this week.
That was awesome. I have to say that their standard question segment is very fun. Questions that shouldn't be hard were extremely hard for me. Favorite Pokemon? I don't know. I love all Pokemon. I'm a Pokemon lover.
Well, we've decided what your favorite Pokemon was now, so you don't have to worry about it anymore.
It's Gengar now. Yeah. For everybody that doesn't know, Gazer's favorite Pokemon is Gengar, and it's going to always be Gengar no matter what.
I'm a Gengar kind of guy, I guess.
It goes with your background. He would go really good there.
True. That is true.
Yeah, the purple and the fog and everything. Yeah. It's the power of Discord, I guess, right?
Of course.
So you guys have been doing it for 3 seasons now.
Yeah.
We're noobs and we're technically on like a 1.5, even though we've called it season 2 because we took a little bit of break when like the Pokemon season changed. But we didn't start at the beginning of the last full season. We just kind of like just dived in and we talked about our origins. But let's hear about the origins of Triple P.
Okay, well, I guess I'll start. So Triple P, Chuck and I, and our friend Duke of Hobbies, Nick, we were all three, players of a different game, X-Wing miniatures, pre-pandemic, and kind of alongside the pandemic and just the game evolving and changing, kind of started to die off. So I was the first to kind of jump ship when it came to X-Wing, which was a hard decision because I love the game so much. Ended up finding Pokemon, saw some local cards or, packs to, buy cards for my son, and then just started cracking packs with him. And then I started reading the cards again. This seems like a game that, we can, get into, or I can get into, and, fell in love with it instantly. So of course I had to ask my friends to come and join me and kind of jump ship from X-Wing as well. So they were hesitant at first, but then once I got them to a local league and started playing, they loved it. I'm assuming they did because they jumped on and I asked them, hey, let's do a podcast. So originally it was myself and Nick, where we started that because he was really into Twitch and streaming, and all of that fun stuff. And I learned a lot from him to start. We brought Chuck in as our meta report guy. And then, just life evolves and Nick wasn't able to have that commitment with, a new house, starting a family and everything. So Chuck jumped in and took his spot as a co-host, and it's just took off. We just every week we just talk about Pokemon, the week's news that is, and we're just basically two guys talking about a fun game, just hanging out every week, and having everybody come in and join with us.
Yeah, I really do enjoy the chemistry the two of you have.
About the
It's
chemistry
gone
you and
way
I
back.
have, though.
Yeah, it's gone way back. Sorry, Chuck, I keep interrupting, I guess, but I have to keep bringing up the first story I ever, or the story of how Chuck and I met. Again, it wasn't in Pokemon, but it was in a different game, X-Wing, and it was my first ever tournament, and he forgot a ship, and they have model ships. And he asked, "Hey, does anybody have an extra Millennium Falcon that I can borrow for the tournament? Because I broke mine." I'm like, "Yeah, you can have mine, no problem." And what does he do? He breaks my model in that tournament. So at the end of the tournament, he's feeling so bad, and there was like voting for like the best sportsman or whatever, because it was kind of like a fun like store level tournament, but also kind of like there was like local like giveaway prizes and stuff. And Chuck felt so bad that he had to vote for me as the best sportsmanship of player of the tournament, and that's how our friendship began.
Yes. Well, by just breaking your stuff.
So Chuck's a bully. He's just like Gazer.
He is definitely. It's blame Chuck.
Oh,
I mean, to relate, Steuben breaks my spirits quite often, so I
mean,
can relate to that.
Yeah, it's just what I do
Yeah, I
best,
do
I
that.
guess. So.
But Chuck, what was your experience about the Pokemon game?
Well, I mean, just like any older generation Gen 1ers, as you would, I guess, want to call them. I mean, I played Pokemon briefly when it launched in 1999, or I think that was 98, like that. Um, I was old enough to try and play the game, but it just wasn't my cup of tea at the time, I guess. I was big into Magic, so card games have kind of always been my thing. So when Jake did reach out he's like, "Hey, you want to play Pokemon?" I was like, "I've done that before," but more importantly, I'm always in for a competitive card game. So I mean, I knew it from back then, but then it just kind of flowed in the background, wasn't it? A big part of anything until like Jake said, what was it, 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago now, or before the pandemic, just jumped into actual competitive play behind it, and it was just a lot of fun. Really liked the mechanics of the game in general, and it just stuck. It just became like a pastime I never really stuck. I never really let like have when I was a kid, but I still watched the shows still, but like I was always too cool for Pokemon to let it just stay at the forefront. So I just let it stay at the forefront now when I don't care about being the coolest dude in the classroom, as they
That's
say.
the one advantage of getting old, that you just don't care if people think you're cool or not. I mean, where you just do what makes you happy. And that's definitely the Pokemon trading card game. And, our local community just embraced us, both as newer players. And now, we're at the forefront. It was like even just this last weekend, we had a Chuck's birthday bash, which was a really fun tournament, which is best of threes, but you have to bring 3 different decks. So you would, if you won your first game, you couldn't play that deck the rest of the format or the rest of that matchup. So you had to bring 3 completely different archetypes of decks. And it really just brings a different dynamic. And it's kind of those fun things as far as the community that we do that might be different from other games. Just keeping things fresh and fun and interesting. And I really enjoy that kind of community and just the game and how it presents itself for different formats.
Yeah, it all stemmed from just not wanting to play the same deck the whole tournament. So
No, it's a cool concept. If I wasn't stuck at work yesterday, I would have 100% been there to play. I was like, all right, I'm gonna play. I'll bring Mew, I'll bring Giratina, and then I'll randomly pick a deck out of my bag for my third one.
yeah, I mean, it purely just grew. Like the idea of it grew from like I mean, you always do it in any card game where you enter the tournament, you're playing the same deck the whole day. So I was just like, what if you got to like switch it up a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
And so then like the best of threes, but you have to win with 2 decks. So then you get to play 2, but then when like you really think about it, like you can actually kind of do some fun stuff with the best of threes in the third deck, because you really only need 2. Like, you could really enter with just 2 decks, because you only need to win 2 of a 3. Because you're not eliminating the deck if you lose with it. But you can really bring just, like, if you just, like, hate a deck, like, I hate Mew. So I'm going to bring a deck that has
Now we're
4
talking.
Drapion and 4 Mighty Hyenas. It's just all dark energy. I just hate Mew. I'm going to... So then when you see your opponent play Mew, you're just like, I got a deck for you. And you win. So you could do that if you really wanted to.
Right, that was so close. So I copped out and I brought 3 meta decks. I brought Arc Intel, Garatina Lost Box, and Zui and Zora Arc. But I was so close to bringing the Ditto Ninja deck. And I really wish I did, because that deck is so fun. And usually you wouldn't play a deck like that going into a tournament. It's like a 20-man plus tournament for a box. But I should have, because it's a fun deck. People don't know how to play against it generally. And it just catches people off guard. And even if it's not a good matchup and you lose one game, you still have meta decks to back yourself up. So I'm kicking myself for not bringing the Ditto box.
It would have been definitely a sleeper pick, but you would have definitely caught people off guard. They're like, wait a minute, what does this do? I have 10 HP left. Oh, and I'm poisoned. Oh, crap.
Wait, what? Yeah, they're like, wait, what? I died?
Yeah. I actually was playing that on the ladder about a week ago, right after Gudra won Salt Lake City. And, it was all over the place on the ladder. So I switched over there, and, they play the big Parasol. And they just saw, because I played mine with Snorlax, and I see them yeet off their big Parasol into the discard pile, and I'm like, well, you just lost there, buddy. And then just proceeded to do the trick, and then they conceded once the first Gudra went down. It was like, okay, that was kind of a good feeling there.
Oh, man. Yeah, being able to just catch people surprise factor stuff is just, it's always so fun. I wish we could see more decks like that, like Breakthrough, Day 2, and Top 8 and stuff at all the big events. I would love to see random stuff like that just more often than not pop up. Yeah,
I guess it's just people like myself, I guess, that there are fringe players they're on that bubble of potentially making it. Just too scared to go super far off the deep end when it comes to meta decisions. Mm-hmm. So I think that probably has a big contributing factor, because like we said, kind of decks like that sometimes can catch people off guard, and I think a lot of the top players, take advantage of that kind of thing. Also, we saw Tord play, some crazy decks, semi recently that were way off meta, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, I feel like some people, including myself, should probably take that leap of faith and take a chance on the deck maybe once or twice when they probably wouldn't.
Well, speaking for myself, Chuck, I would have definitely been at your birthday bash. And happy belated birthday, by the way. I had a birthday recently, too.
Happy birthday to you. Happy belated birthday to you.
Wait, hang on. Wait a minute. Didn't we already do that? Did we do that?
I feel like a little deja vu.
I'm not sure this happened or not.
Something's going on here.
But no, if I would, if I was, not in California, I definitely would have went to your birthday bash or tournament. My only hang up is the only deck I have completely built right now is Sasui and Zorg. So not entirely sure what I would have done there.
Well, Chuck has like 75 decks made, so
if you would have managed to come out, I had 13 extra decks built just for that day. You could have played almost whatever you wanted in the meta. So I would have just had it, but let you borrow it. So
also, Chuck allows proxies for this triple threat tournament, because it is a big ask for a lot of people that maybe don't have a big collection like established players or anything like that. So I know last year, even though there were different archetypes, I had 2 decks with the Shady Dealings line in there, and I didn't have enough Drizziles, so I actually drew Drizziles. I took like 45 minutes to draw 4 separate ones.
Wait, you said you drew Drizzile. You didn't not draw like you drew them from your deck, but you drew pen,
I literally
paper.
I got a pen and paper. Well, I traced the side of the card to get the perfect size, and then I even put the HP, the numbers. I did it as best as I could to make it look official from just a pen.
He did.
My art skills aren't the best, but it got the point across.
We had Justin Basil on here before, and his website can send you to a place where you get proxies, all that good stuff. Subin uses those too, I think.
Yeah, yep, I've been using them recently for upcoming videos on the YouTube channel.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Talking about that Silver Tempest. But yeah, Justin Basil has proxies, all that good stuff on the site. Screw that. I love Justin Basil. Bump those proxies. I want yours.
Deal.
They were high end proxies. Considering all I required was an energy card with the name written on it, because we all know what the cards do. I'm not trying to be too crazy, but his proxies were high end.
Yeah, I want the traced out picture of the Drizzile. Probably with like two little dot eyes, right? And little smiley face, looking like a ditto, huh? Just like, here I am.
I would have drawn a stick figure and then give it a comb over for Drizzile.
See, look at that. Look, it's got the swoop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just drew on an energy card saying this is boss or something like that. But like mine, I definitely wanted to make it an attempt at making it look kind of recognizable. So unfortunately, I can't find any of these pictures. I'm gonna scroll through here as we're having this conversation to see a year ago, because I know they were on the Facebook. But
if you ever find them, I want to see.
We'll keep looking. But yeah, so no, those are always the fun formats. And like I said, the community is everything in this game. The game is fun. Leaves a lot of different options for different formats. But first and foremost, it's all about the community, locally, and even just since we've done the podcast, just being able to talk to awesome content creators like yourself. From the big names to the small names, everybody's super awesome, friendly, willing to give their time, and it is just a joy to be part of this community, like I said.
Yeah, it's always awesome to be able to get everybody from all different walks of life and places and regions to all just be together in some shape or form, one way or another, whether it's an online tournament or podcasts or YouTube videos, Twitch streams, doesn't matter. It's all pretty cool.
It's a good time.
Agreed.
All right, so let's move into our icebreakers, which we really don't need them, but we're gonna do them anyways. We do the thing called the 6 prize turn. We're gonna ask 6 rapid fire questions. They may or may not be about Pokemon. So be prepared to just blurt out the first answer. We'll go in the order of Chuck, then Jake. So Chuck will answer, then Jake will answer. And Gazer and I are going to go back and forth on some of these questions.
So are you going to go all 6 for Chuck and then all 6 me, or are you just going to
I'll ask a question, and then Chuck answer, Jake answer.
Yeah.
And then if we talk about them or whatever. All right, so first question. Favorite brand of sleeves and current color choice?
Oh, that's easy. I'm gonna jump this. This Dragon Shield purple, easy.
Yeah, you went real hard on one kind. All right, so I'm on the Dragon Shield train now. I will say I really liked Kartana's. I still really like Kartana's, but I don't know, the prevalence of Dragon Shield is just better. But I am all in on Fury Red dual mat at the moment.
That's those are the new
color. Yeah,
we haven't got those in at our shop yet. I'm waiting for them. I really want to see the new purple as well. And is there an orange? Right, there's a new orange.
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen the orange, but okay. the Fury is really good. I haven't seen the new purple, but yeah, I really like the dual mats.
Yeah,
I would say honestly, like Dragon Shield specifically, the dual mats. It's not a texture. I just like the black background. It just makes the cards pop better.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I for me, it's just purple's my favorite color, and that purple is just so pretty, and I gotta stick with that. Plus, I've made the decision somewhat recently to only be one color, just so I don't have to continuously buy different things and having a bunch of different like boxes that have like 40 sleeves that I can't do anything with. Yeah. So if I buy 6 of the same color, then they're actually truly like 7 or 8 boxes. So that's kind of why I made that decision.
Yeah, I'm ready to do that myself. All right, Gazer. Next question.
Favorite fast food?
Oh, okay.
Easy again for me.
I don't know if you have any of these around you, but in where I am currently living in Ohio has taken over my favorite fast food. It's called Lee's Famous Chicken. They basically are a fried chicken restaurant, but it's the best chicken strips / fried chicken I've had.
I've heard about them.
So
Not bad.
you can get spicy chicken too, and it's just great. That's my favorite place.
So for me, this is easy question, and it hurts because because I'm originally from California, Southern California. I moved out to Pittsburgh,
Hey, yo.
and I do not have these out in Pittsburgh, and it drives me nuts. But Del Taco, I need a Del Taco out here. There's actually one in the Columbus area. It was random, and driving back from Peoria, I actually got to have some Del Taco. It was the best part of the trip. It was actually just as good as the ones in California, but I miss it so much. That's like literally the first thing I do whenever I come to visit family. Is before I even get to my dad's house or see family, I go from the airport straight to Del Taco.
When you said Southern California, it's like, oh, he's gonna say In-N-Out. Like it's
That's
just,
what I thought I was gonna go with the generic.
that's
In-N-Out.
I've never heard anyone ever say,
Del
Del
Taco.
Taco is my favorite restaurant.
Taco
Ever.
Bell, garbage. Del Taco superior. It's the best fast
I've never
food
had it.
restaurant by
I've never
far.
had it before.
Yeah.
So
I'm
so good.
Now,
I'm
Jake,
still waiting for the Del Taco experience. So.
It's so good.
get this man some Del Taco. Now, Jake, I can agree. Del Taco is good. That is true. In-N-Out is overrated. I'll say that as well.
I like In-N-Out, but
yeah, no, it's not that great. It's overrated. But your take on Taco Bell being garbage, we gotta back that one up a little bit. That's not. It's not garbage.
I mean,
it's not garbage.
I guess if you compare it to Del Taco, in my opinion, it's garbage. But a standalone by itself. But because every time I bring it up to people about Del Taco, talking to people from Pittsburgh, they're like, "Oh, it's like Taco Bell." I'm like, no, not at all. It's not even in the same category. So that's why I say that, I guess. So I may be being a little harsh, but it's not on the same category.
We have a couple left here in Fresno. We used to have like 3 or 4, but a couple shut down. I remember one time I randomly got like a Sada fries from there.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone doesn't know what a Sada fries is, it might be just a localized thing. I don't know. But it's fries, but with carne asada on top, cheese. It's like nachos with fries.
Yeah.
And they had a Sada fries. Like, yeah, I'll try it. And they were good. I was like,
that sounds awesome.
This is good.
Yeah,
yes.
Sounds delicious.
That
actually,
sounds really good. Sounds like I want it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I could eat Del Taco every day and be happy with that. And you can just get the basic tacos, burritos. It's all good. But then they have, for a fast food restaurant, they have so many deluxe options of different kind of burritos and like you said, asada fries, fish tacos. Oh my gosh, the list goes on and on. It's such a great place and so underrated. And they need to bring one to Pittsburgh, please. If anybody that's listening to this works for Del Taco, bring one to Pittsburgh, please.
I mean, I'll drive the hour to try it if they put one there. It's fine.
Jake, it sounds like this is just an idea that came. We need to make Jake and Chuck go to Del Taco.
The movie.
Oh man,
Let's go.
pick me up along the way. I'm in the middle, basically.
There we go.
Yeah, and we'll find Neil Patrick Harris somewhere too. It'd be fun.
Oh my god.
So we're just going beat for beat Harold and Kumar, huh? We gotta be original. We can't get Neil Patrick Harris. We have to get like someone else, Robert Downey Jr. or somebody.
No, we just gotta get. We'll make it Pokemon themed, so we'll just get all the big names in the Pokemon. So we'll pick you two up. And we'll have to get like Andrew Mahone and Azul GG in there somewhere. Get all the other podcasts. Get the the Flow T-Cast guys in there. Get the Lake of Rage. All of them, right? I know I'm missing a bunch, but we got to get all of those guys.
Down for that. As long as we don't pick up a 9-card TCG, we can do that definitely.
Oh my god.
Sounds good to me.
They have to fight. They have to fight MMA style, and then they have to play basketball together. To see who's the true Pokemon master. Pokemon unrelated, they have to play basketball and fight in MMA to
who's the true master?
See who's the better Pokemon.
You can only be one. All right, so that was my fast food question. Subin, it's on you. Question 3.
All right, favorite non-Pokemon franchise.
This is a toss-up. Star Wars has been going down in my book. I'm probably gonna pick Marvel at the moment.
I like Marvel, but I mean, I just finished Andor, at least currently. I don't know if that was the season finale. Actually, not too bad. I know the sequel trilogy wasn't well received. Chuck and I have had debates about this many times. I think episode 7 was fine. I think it really went down a hill at 8, and they couldn't recover from 8 going into 9.
I'm with you. I feel like
that
8 was,
Seven was fine.
like
8 was
Ryan
too many
Johnson
cooks.
Yeah.
But
I think 7 was fine. A lot of retreads, but it was fine.
That's fine. But and you know, Mandalorian, I love it. You know, some of the other stuff that the Kenobi series was okay.
I thought Kenobi was awesome. I think Kenobi's my favorite of the modern Star Wars stuff.
I don't know. I think Mandalorian's still better. Book of Boba Fett was not good. Sorry, spoilers. Oh, a spoiler alert. It wasn't good until it became
Mandalorian season 2.5.
Exactly.
Let's see if I can trigger you right here. Let's see if I can trigger you. Solo.
What, the movie?
The movie?
Mm-hmm.
What about it?
I actually like the movie.
What?
Solo.
The movie?
Yeah.
Most people
thing,
talk to their rage at that movie. You like what?
Okay, see the problem. Solo fell into the problem. See, I can talk about Star Wars all day, so we're gonna be here a while. But Solo fell into the problem where they always try and do too much in a movie. Like
Yes.
I didn't need to know where Solo got his name from. I didn't
That's
need
what I'm
to know.
saying. That's why a lot of people get enraged.
I think the only thing that was like necessary was like where he met Chewbacca and how he made the Kessel Run. Like that was great. Like for me, like but they just shoved too much like.
Too much at the beginning.
Here's how he got his name.
Beginning.
Here's how he got his backpack. Here's how he got his shoelaces. Yeah.
Here's his
right.
long lost. He had a girlfriend that no one cares about. It's just too much, all at once. But all it needed to be was I think a really cool heist movie. That's like all it needed to be. But it just fell flat. I mean, I don't think you were ever gonna find a guy that can play Han Solo. That would equal what Harrison Ford has done.
It's an impossible task.
No matter what, whoever X actor is going to be like, he wasn't Harrison Ford. So that was always going to be a lost cause. But I think they just needed to make a cool heist movie. And basically, I think we're losing out because like people have panned that. We're losing out on the best addition that they have made a younger character in Danny Glover being Lando, a young Lando. Because he just did that like out the park, and I would love to watch him play Lando for a movie or 3 or a series. So
I could see that.
Unfortunate.
No, Donald Glover's he's a very good actor. He did well in that role.
Did I say Danny Glover or did I say Donald Glover? Because I just watched Lethal Weapon, so I might have said.
Danny Glover's a good actor himself too. They're both great actors. They're both great.
Let's just not talk about Lethal Weapon 5 or 6 because those don't.
Wait, there's actually Lethal Weapon 5 and
Always
6?
Sunny in Philadelphia. They make Lethal Weapon 5 and 6. It's not Pokemon friendly, but oh my god, you have to watch those episodes now.
For sure.
All right, Gazer's question now, right?
Is that
yes,
right?
yes,
You kind of
yeah,
just blended everything together. My question was, favorite generation of Pokemon and least favorite generation of Pokemon.
Okay, so favorite generation is supposed to be Gen 5, right? No, kidding.
He did his research.
I'm a listener of the podcast. I know a thing or two. No, my favorite generation is still the original 151. I don't know. I like them the best. Least favorite, whichever one has. I think it's 7. I don't know. I can't even remember the starters, so it doesn't like. It's usually like 7 or 6.
Those poor starters.
Just get rid of them. Who needs them? You don't need them. You don't need starter Pokemon. You don't need them.
You said 7 or 6. 6 was Primarina.
Yeah, that's it. The ones with the Primarina.
Chestnut. But then we lose Greninja. Think about it. You want to lose Greninja?
No, Primarina. No. Primarina is
Gen
Gen 7.
Wait, I'm wrong.
Oh my god, that's Delphox.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's Primarina, Delphox, and then is it Chestnut? Like they're just all forgettable.
Chestnut.
Yeah,
they're just all
Those
forgettable.
are from 2 different generations.
I don't know. They're all
Gen
forgettable
6,
for me.
Gen 6 gave us Greninja, and that was beautiful. Gen 7 gave us
I am not
I guess
a
Incineroar.
Pokemon knowledge extraordinaire, so
Everybody
I don't
loves
know.
Rowlet and Decidueye though. Like,
Oh, I love
that's
Decidueye.
Gen
You're right.
7.
I forgot about
yeah.
Decidueye. Yeah, I love Decidueye.
A hot take. I'm probably the only person that just does not like Decidueye Rowlet at all. Like I don't like that Pokemon. Sorry.
He's just not ready to fight.
Gazer just took it. He's like
He dropped
gonna
his
kick
mic.
me off. He's gonna kick me
I
off
heard
the
that one
pod.
before.
I know it's
I
a hot
never
take.
heard that one.
I know I am in the minority there. But yeah, I don't really have a disfavorite generation. I would say Generation 1 is my favorite. I really didn't play a lot of the games up until Gen 8 with this last the Sword and Shield. Love Dragapult. I think a lot of people have a lot of complaints with the starters. Their final evolutions of their starters. I don't think a lot of people either like Inteleon, Cinderace, or Rillaboom. So as far as starters, maybe Gen 8, because I think their final evolutions are probably a little weaker, just total. As a 3, well-rounded there. But I'm sorry. I know Gazer's still just reeling from me saying I don't like Decidueye.
That's a weird one. I never heard that one. That's definitely different.
I will be honest though. Gen 5 is higher up in my books than probably Gazer's because it gives us Whimsicott. So
Yeah, that's your namesake.
Watch Whimsy.
yeah. That
Whimsicott's a good Pokemon.
Holds a special place. So
Whimsicott's a good Pokemon. I'll give you that. I like Whimsicott. There's some hidden gems in Gen 5 I like, but overall in the designs I feel like we're kind of a lot of retreads to Gen 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the story that's heralded as this great story from Gen 5 is kind of convoluted and contradicting. We don't want Pokemon to fight. We want them to be free animals. But let's fight you with our Pokemon. I'm like, come on, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Right.
All right, final question, right? Is this it? Yeah.
No. I have one more.
You have one more?
This is your final, yeah.
Oh, my final.
Dubin's last.
Oh my God! Wow, we're like really slow through these tonight.
We're having a good time.
We're really going.
Yes,
we're
engaging in deep conversations. And I lost my question. I forgot what.
I think we forgot to mention is me and Jake are both very long-winded on a lot of things.
Yeah,
So,
we kind of. I
winded. You say?
That I was going to do that. You beat me to it.
We're very long Gust of winded.
Favorite TCG set of all time as a whole?
Oh,
geez. I don't. I'm gonna go with probably one that no one else is gonna like, but it's brought me one of my favorite decks. So, Darkness Ablaze because Scorch and Scorch only.
Scorch. I remember those days.
I be honest, I have played too long. So set wise for me to actually have meanings probably only go back to like Cosmic Eclipse and like Team Up.
Okay.
So but Darkness Ablaze hit and like it really made a deck that I really like in Scorch with Welder and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, at the time it was super awesome to play that. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Just massive ramping of energy.
I mean, for me, we're both COVID players. We didn't start until like right before pandemic, so we don't really have that large, amount of sets to really draw back on. It's between just base set, just because that was my first pre-release, getting back into tournaments, pulling a Zacian. That was always fun. I know there's controversy with Zacian with ADP. So that kind of was like a set that kind of hurt the format overall. Rebel Clash, I believe, that got us Dragapult, right? Dragapult was in that set, and I really love Dragapult. So I'll go, but I don't want to go the same as Chuck's, but I have to go Rebel Clash because Dragapult's that's my boy. I love that deck, and there was like that hot minute where Dragapult was BDIF. And I really enjoyed it because there was a lot more skill expression in that deck, just based off where you place damage counters. If you place damage counters in the wrong spot, it could really punish you or reward you if you did it correctly. So you had to really be thoughtful with those. So I would say, Rebel Clash because of Dragapult.
Yeah, I really enjoy Dragapult as well. I think it's
Jake, that was
super good deck.
That was a good time right there. Listen, oh man, and then Chuck and the census. Oh boy, y'all got me in a good spot right now. I'm feeling real good right now.
That's when you when I guess both of us really started streaming and stuff was around that time, anyways, right? Like it had to have been, if not a little bit further in and out. So
I think right at that, right around that point, that Rebel Clash, Sharpness Blaze point, and just Center Scorch was, oh my gosh, and Dragapult, and like you said, placing the damage counters and having to think, okay, what can I do here to make them have to, make a decision, and oh my gosh,
I tried to redo Center Scorch and Dragapult both on the YouTube channel in the past couple months. The videos didn't do too super hot, but I had a lot of fun playing those decks at League. I paired Center Scorch with the Go Charizard. With the Roaring Heart or whatever, it doubles your fire energy.
Doubles fire, yeah.
And then Dragapult, what did I pair it with? Oh, I already forgot.
I know a lot of people were trying to do like Lost Box and stuff like that.
Oh, it was before Lost Engine. It was before. It was like last format. It's just like, I was like, you know what? I have these cards. Let's make some videos out of them, have some fun, play it at League.
Just didn't quite hit the numbers. Even with the choice belt, you're still not doing enough damage to these big Pokemon to potentially even do a 1-shot or a 2-shot.
That's part of the problem. It hit the numbers perfectly on the bench, but as far as
Dragapult felt really good into Palkia and Teleon at the time too, though.
Yeah.
Because you could just limit how much you bench yourself, and then you're just eating those counters, and then they scoop up, and then you're like, oh crap, never mind.
Right. Yeah. There was even a small window of time where like the de-evolving Banette was really fun with there. You can place damage count, like hit something big and then gust it, and then de-evolve it while it's on the bench, knock it out with the damage counters game too. There was a lot of fun little plays with that deck.
Dragapult. Okay, moving
on.
Do
I redeem myself after saying I don't like Decidueye?
We're cool. We're okay now. We're gonna be okay.
Let's go.
Who forgives you?
Let's go.
My final question to you guys. This was a long 6-part sermon, but I'm loving it though. My final question is a segment I'm stealing from you guys.
Oh God!
I want you guys to name this supporter card.
Okay.
So I guess this is a question. It's a question. Yeah, name the supporter card.
A trivia question.
Yes. Each player reveals their hand. Draw 3 cards.
Oh,
isn't that Riley? Isn't that the card that you hate?
No, Riley is.
No, it was from the same set. Is
it Choi?
Yeah,
no,
it's Choi.
Is it Choi or is it?
It's Choi. It's Choi. It has to be Choi. Riley is Chuck's favorite card, for sure.
Riley is the new.
I thought it was Dan.
Wasn't Riley?
No, so
Riley's what? Show 5 cards. What is it? Show 5 cards. They discard 2. No, they choose 2.
Discard
what is it?
Yeah, you show 5 cards, and your opponent picks the 2 that you discard, and then you keep the rest of them.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is horrible. And I again, to go long-winded, Chuck and I have bets from time to time where the loser has to go to our local shop and play a 4 of count of X cards. So in the past, Chuck has had to go with Dan and Hop to 2 separate tournaments and play a 4 of counts. And I keep threatening that Riley's going to be his next one because next time he loses, because it's probably the worst supporter that we currently have in Standard.
Yeah, I can't find a good use for that at all. To be completely honest, I'm sure.
They discard 2. They choose.
I'm sure some big brain would tell me differently.
If LDF can't make that deck work, I don't think anybody can.
I don't see the just Colress. It's
Colress.
It's just
just Colress. You're right.
It's the reverse Colress.
At least you get to pick what you don't want. Like, imagine Colressing and just saying, "Hey,
buddy.
Oh, I did 2 good cards. Okay, those go to the Lost Zone."
Yeah,
you never will get what you want off of a Riley. Like you
play Riley and say, "Hey, buddy, what should I take? What do you want me to have here?"
Unless they reprint
take your battle VIP passes. Here you go.
Yeah. Unless there's some heavy like recovery discard mechanic they reprint, like Riley will never be good. But then they'll just give you the cards instead. Instead of
Reprint VS Seeker.
I mean, they could. They could. I think technically it did exist originally with the EXs. Fire Red Leaf Green is the first printing of Versus Seeker, so.
Well, I look at cards like that get kind of nerfed, to get neutered a little bit. So we, instead of via Seeker reprint, we got was it Welcoming Lantern, which only went for single strike support. So I mean, I don't think they'll ever go that route of via Seeker, or like look at Floatstone. Instead of getting a Floatstone reprint, they said, hey, here's Air Balloon. It's kind of like half of, or a weakened Floatstone. So I think some cards they realized would just be too good in this format right now, or just the way the game was heading. So some cards I don't think we'll see again.
Makes sense. I mean, look at DCE. We've gotten Twin, we've got Double Turbo, so they're always going to find a way to nerf those legacy cards now that people still want into the game.
There'll be spiritual successors, but maybe not quite to the same, like verbatim to word for word.
I want to see A-Specs come back though.
It'd be
A-Specs
such a curated
one-up cards.
I mean, that's what Radiant cards are, right?
Mm-hmm. Pokemon Star, Pokemon Shining all over again.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see A-Specs like trainers come back, like Computer Surge and Item Finder, stuff like that.
I mean, they did. Prism Stars.
Cram-O-Matic. just play Cram-O-Matic. You got your Computer Surge.
Just play Arceus and then just use his V-Star.
Computer Surge.
That's better than Computer Surge.
No, the grassy stone that's coming out. There you go. There's your Computer Surge.
That is Computer Surge
with no discard.
True.
I know Gazer said he really, really wants Mew to have Computer Surge, so that's just what the deck needs.
If Mew gets that, it might finally be a top 5 deck.
Might.
Don't get me wrong, Mew is a great deck. Don't get me wrong, Mew is a great deck. I respect the heck out of it. It's a top deck. I just don't think you have to be super duper skilled to play. I don't know. I just my humble opinion.
You're just salty.
Just a little salt.
Just a smidge. So, for, the sake of saying that we talked about it already, yes, we talked about Leal. If you want to hear what we thought about Leal, please head over to their pod and listen in on that. But for this edition, we're going to dive deep into Silver Tempest. Pre-releases start this weekend. So I'm going to go through the set list and pick and choose cards, talk about the text on them, and then we'll go around the room and see what everybody thinks for the list. First big thing out of the gate, of course, the hype 3 cards that everyone's been talking about so far is Lugia V-Star, Regidrago VMAX, or I'm sorry, no, Regidrago V-Star and Regieleki VMAX. Which one do you want guys to go over first?
Let's talk about Lecky.
Okay. Let me pull that up. Unless you know the text off the top.
I don't know the word for word text, but I kind of basically have a grasp on it.
I'm excited for Lucky.
I'll
put that out right now.
Make Vikavolt great card.
I'm worried about this format with this card.
So
what? You got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Regieleki VMAX, 310 HP with the ability Transistor. The attacks of your basic lightning Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Its attack is a max Thunder Strike for 220 for a lightning and 2 colorless, and it cannot attack on the next turn. It has no retreat cost.
I'll say that's the biggest thing. Tell them retreat costs.
The V is not as notable. 1 lightning for 30 and switch to a benched Pokemon, and then 1 lightning, 2 colors for lightning wall, 100 damage during your opponent's next turn. It takes 100 less from attacks after applying weakness and resistance, and it has a retreat cost of 1. They're both weak to fighting types. What do we think about Regieleki VMAX and V?
So I don't think he's going to be the main attacker to a deck, at least in this next format before rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel, I don't know if Gazer, you've played against Vikavolt V back when they had Electro Powers. This is basically adding Electro Powers because having item lock and then potentially setting up better math than it currently has the potential to be pretty powerful. especially with the decks that we've kind of talked about on our pod earlier, that are seeing top play in the meta. Lost Box engines with either just the Lost Box itself or the Garatina versions, very heavily reliant on the ball searches, switch cards, scoop up nets. And same thing goes with Palkia variants with the Inteleon version. So those decks are very, very reliant on item cards. And a lot of those decks have, 40-ish trainer cards in their decks, and a deck that can kind of just hit the math and disrupt. Feels kind of scary potentially. I know Chuck's shaking his head over there that he doesn't necessarily agree. We saw a little bit of the potential of Vikavolt this weekend at the Lille regionals on some of the stream games. Somebody's probably going to break it. I think this card just kind of gives that little bit of extra damage boost that it might need, potentially. I could be wrong, but I'm a little scared or worried, at least at this point.
Chuck, what do you think?
I agree with Jake. I'm a little worried that, I'm just not a fan of item lock because, I'm not a fan of not playing the game in general.
Understandable.
I like control aspects that not necessarily just, I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. But
you like them when they're coin
frustrates.
flips.
Yeah, I like them when they frustrate me, or I don't like them when they frustrate me, and I like them when I'm frustrating someone else. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of having item lock be super prevalent, but it's just he might find a way to make Vikavolt really good. We'll see. It is a 3-prizer still.
He could also make it clunky. So it depends on the archetype or who creates that first 60, right? And there's a lot of good deck creators out there, and if somebody's motivated enough to make that work, and then it catches on in the meta, it can be an issue for a small window of time.
Gazer, what do you think?
Not impressed.
So we've been talking about Vikavolt this whole. Who were Reggie Pikachu? Who we've been talking about this whole time?
Yeah, totally. So
yeah, Pikachu could be decent. No,
yeah.
I don't. No, I just I love the fact that it finally has a free retreat. It's about time a Reggie Lucky finally had free retreat costs. That's just a win within itself.
Yeah, hat nod to the VG guys.
I know, right? But and the ability is nice. It can make Vikavolt good, which I like. I like item locking. I like turning off abilities. I am one of those guys who likes to, take away a component of my opponent playing the game. You want your abilities? No. You want your items? No. I do like that. I'm kind of evil like that. That's fine. I played Gengar Mimikyu with Omastar a lot. It's fine. So I do like item lock. Matter of fact, on stream last night, I played Vikavolt. And I had so many people frustrated. They weren't happy with what I was doing on stream. But they have the liability of a 3-prizer out there with low end V max HP. 310 is on the low end, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 3-prizer. There's no fighting prevalent right now, true, but Mew can climb up to 310 if it needs to.
Yeah.
Zoroark can get 310 if it needs to. If you're playing a Garatina, let's say you have Choice Belt, you get the 310 if you need. It's too much of a liability just for that extra 30.
Well,
I don't think it's worth.
But can you get there behind the item lock? That's the question.
All those cards you mentioned were item cards that they need to play, and they under item lock they can't.
That's the only thing that, because one of the big things that you would play around Vikavolt is bossing or around the Vikavolt or getting it so that you can't, so they can't item lock you for the turn. But Lecky just has free retreat, so you can't lock that VMAX in the active. So it's a little bit of the combo, the hat nod to the VG guys that might make the deck actually work a little bit better. But I do agree with you, Gazer. It's 3 prizes, so if you can take out one of these things, you might be just so far ahead that Vikavolt can't keep up.
Yeah,
potentially.
I do like the idea of getting Vikavolt out. choice belt, the Lecky, and now you're hitting 90 each turn, which is, that's just pretty decent numbers for that kind of deck. I do like that, but just the fact that it's a 3 prize with a liability, I don't know if it's. I don't think it's worth. I'm sleeping on it.
I've been looking at a lot of Japanese lists since they actually got Paradigm Trigger, which is like our half of Silver Tempest that we're actually like deep investing into over the weekend. And I mean, it's insane because they have access to the grass tablet. And a lot of these lists that I've seen are also water energy, and they've got Melanie in there. So like, even if you boss under the Vikavolt that has 3 retreat, they're just going to attach in Melanie to it, or use their tablet to V-Star power, basically search for whatever they need. I think it's a super strong deck. And, going into a meta where Lugia is going to get a lot of hype, it's a super fan favorite Pokemon. It's weak to lightning. I mean, you could technically, get rid of that with Dunsparce, but that's a whole other debate that we'll get to when we get to Lugia. But I think this is going to be a super strong archetype, and the Sanders and the Tords are going to definitely crack Vikavolt Regieleki.
Yeah, there's just a lot going for it in this small window of time. Like I said, though, rotations in January or somewhere in that range.
Yeah, most likely January or February.
January, February. So there's going to be a small window of time where Vikavolt can potentially just be this demon running around doing what he wants to do. Besides that, after rotation, I don't know if the Reggie's going to make a difference or not. There's not a lot of huge attackers right now that I see this comboing with, unless you like load up a 4 count. And again, those guys are a little weaker to easily take 3 prizes. So we'll see.
All right, we'll move on to Lugia now. The V and the V-Star, the regular V, 220 HP, 2 retreat cost, resist fighting, weak to lightning, as we just mentioned, 2 attacks, wind reading for 1 colorless, discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards. The second attack for 4 colorless, arrow dive, 130. You may discard a stadium in play. You don't have to. It's optional. So if it's your stadium, you can keep it. If it's your opponent's, you can bump it out. The V-Star, 280 HP, same retreat, weakness, resistance, but it has 1 attack and a V-Star power. First, its attack is for 4 colors, Storm Dive, 220. You may discard a stadium in play. So it's literally the same thing as Arrow Dive, just 90 more damage. And then the real threat here is the V-Star power, Assemble Star. Choose 2 colorless Pokemon from your discard pile, except for Pokemon with Roblox, and put them onto your bench. And the main thing that people are pairing this up with is the Archeops from the set with the ability Primal Turbo. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for 2 special energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon, then shuffle your deck.
So people aren't running this Lugia with gumshoes? That's not a thing?
Yeah, totally not. No. It's Archeops, a little bit of Bibarel, but mostly the thing they want to target down is the Archeops. It's a stage 2 that technically evolves from a fossil in the long run. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit harder to get that out naturally. So you want to get them into the discard pile as fast as possible, Assemble Star, and then you could just start accelerating special energy. And there's just so many different special energy and different ways to play Lugia. What do you guys think?
Do you want to take this one first, Chuck?
Start with this one. I think Lugia, I'm sure you probably found some people making Lugia happen in Japan. I haven't seen results for them yet, but I think Lugia will be a thing, and I don't think it's going to be necessarily that Lugia is like the attacker. I think you're going to find Lugia help build some busted colorless attackers with Archeops, and then the other colorless attacker that might be busted. Like, I know there's like an Ursaluna that does ridiculous amounts of damage. There's other like stage 2s that are colorless that might be able to just like go ham because Lugia sets it up real quickly.
Yeah.
That would be my first thought. I could be completely off on that though.
So spoiler alert, the video that I'm putting out later tonight / tomorrow, I have it paired with Gengar VMAX. Mm-hmm. And you have access to, attacking with Lugia with powerful colorless energy, and you can also load up Gengar, and you've got both of Gengar's attacks. Looking at Japan, there has been Single Strike Urshifu, Single Strike Tornadus, and Single Strike Gengar seem to be the 3 most popular pairs for Lugia so far, so we can consider those, as well as things with like Giratina, Crobat, the amazing rare Yveltal and Raikou, Duraludon. It's insane, like the options that you have with Lugia.
Right.
Just ripped through my whole stonks. I got to switch some stuff up now.
So I think in general, I think if it's just a straight Lugia deck, it seems like it's okay. I think once you get past that first turn and you use that V-Star ability, and then whatever that energy is attached to, it might fall off a little bit, but it still seems pretty fun. Like you said, I think the options are pretty limitless. It's in one that you didn't name and that never was a deck that maybe is. I don't even remember how much it does. I think it was 240, but was Salamence, right? So
Yes,
Salamence
yes.
does damage to, if you put powerful colorless, load all 4 of those plus a choice spell. I believe that's going to do the damage there. Plus, it could snipe.
Is it 40-40?
Yeah, I believe the first
Sonic
one does
double or whatever.
Yeah, Sonic double. So there's definitely maybe some play there. But the ultimately, we're near rotation, and there's going to be a lot of special energies that are going to rotate. And powerful colorless being one of those. All of the those early horror psychics, speed lightnings, things like that. Those are all going away. They're all going away. So there might be a small window of time where Lugia can really shine and deck creativity can be at an all-time high. Because like you said, there's so many different options that you can do. It's definitely something to explore for the time being.
Yeah, I'm looking at more, and I see Ditto VMAX getting played with it. Greedent VMAX. There's a lot of these insane combinations that I didn't even think about. Like last week, we talked about a little bit of Salamence and like Tornadus, where like, yeah, cool. Then you have Sharon's Care, and you have all these different colorless support options. So it's super crazy to just, who knows? But yeah, like you mentioned, we do lose all of those special energies: Wash, Speed, Coding, Hiding Dark, Aurora, Capture. It's all gone with rotation.
Even Twin Energy is leaving.
Yes, which you're not going to play Twin Energy in this anyways.
Yeah, I know, but
we are talking about things you are going to lose, but we could look a little bit ahead. Because I'm if I remember from our reveals at Worlds, was it Coriadon and the other Miradon, didn't they not look like they were colorless Pokemon? Potentially,
they I think they're technically dragons in game, and we might be going back to a world where dragons are colorless.
So
can you imagine that?
I'm just saying we might get future wise.
Yep.
We might get. I mean, we're talking about EXs that these are things that look like they were going to have to evolve through the standard evolve chain, not just VMAXs that we can put on the field. So you might be able to cheat some really cool EXs into play with this Lugia down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't. This is not gameplay related, but you didn't mention that this is probably the chase card.
They have rule boxes, so you won't be able to.
They probably have rule boxes.
Yeah,
I won't be able to do that.
Yeah, they're gonna have an EX rule box, but
yes,
you might be able to accelerate energy to them to crack them with the Archeops Lugia combo.
I do that all the time. I got to read the card.
We got to read the cards. I do that all the time.
No, I don't read.
But that Lugia, that alt art Lugia, is an amazing looking card, right? I think that's going to be the chase card. That's the card I think everybody's going to be going after. And I think that's probably one of my favorites out of the last 5 or 6 sets.
Yeah. I think I've seen a lot of controversy on Twitter over the price of the card in Japan the past couple of days. And I think it's selling for the conversion from yen to US dollars is like $680 on average for this Lugia. And
600.
I can only imagine if the Giratina has stabilized at 200 plus here in the States, Lugia is even more popular. If you pull the Lugia this weekend at pre-release, you better send it off to PSA or CGC ASAP. And
Right.
sell. First to market on that thing is probably going to be 4 digits easy guaranteed if you get an 8, 9, or a 10 on a grade.
Yep.
Goodness.
I'll put in a deck and riffle shuffle it. I'm a psychopath.
So is Chuck.
Let's
I
go.
said the same thing. I am actually not a huge fan of it.
Oh,
in
really?
General,
Oh,
the art.
man.
Yeah, I
Oh.
just
You
that
would
everyone
still
was-
need to do
everyone-
exactly what Steuben said, though.
everyone was oogling it over it in our local chat, and I just said that looks like something I'll riffle shuffle. So
I mean, yeah, my Palkias are the alt arts, and I beat the crap out of them. So,
Bro.
I mean, I've been playing with my gold Palkia. It's the only I got it because it was the only Palkia available.
mm-hmm.
You got to play it.
All right. Any closing thoughts on Lugia?
I didn't get a chance to speak on it. Thank you, Steuben.
Excuse me, Gazer.
We here at Triple P get a little long-winded, like Chuck said, so we kind of cut you off.
But I don't mind that. It's just Steuben even say Gazer thoughts. He just all of a sudden,
You
like,
know,
okay, we're closing our thoughts.
I don't want us to go 4 hours over 40 cards.
I don't want to talk anymore. How about that? I'm done.
All right. Hashtag blame
I
Gazer.
want, blame Gazer. I want to hear his opinion.
Thank you. I like Chuck and Jake. No, I feel like
Screw you,
Lugia
Gazer.
can be
Go have your own podcast with them then.
the PPPG.
Oh my god.
But no,
PPG.
the PGP.
Yeah. PPG is
where the Penguins play is PPG Arena, so we can just something like
There we
that.
go.
No free advertisements.
Unless they pay us. They got to pay us. But no,
let's go.
I think Lugia could be interesting. I mean, the Archeops that's gonna be everybody's go-to thought, and now can charge up anything with powerful colors and stuff like that. So for a time, it will be very viable. I don't know if Lugia is gonna be a big enough attacker on its own. I don't think it can do really do enough damage on its own.
If you put 3 powerful colors on there, you hit 280.
Yeah, but then that Lugia goes down, and then what do you do?
You fall on your other type attacker most likely.
I guess that's true.
That's the line of play that I've had in casual playing a league with it so far.
Okay.
The turn I flip
but,
the V-Star, I swing with the Lugia, and then when it goes down, Gengar comes out and Unga Bunga
Gengar. But no, I feel like it can make things a little more interesting. That Archeops is like the main thing we see now. Later on down the line, we don't know what else will come out that's colorless, and might be a stage 2 that could be used. But I think it can be good. Tier 1, tier 2. I don't know, but I think it can be played here and there. It could be playable.
Okay. Are you happy now, Gazer?
Yes.
All right, let's move on to Reggie Drago. I guess the third big one of the set that people are most likely going to play. We won't dive into all the fringe stuff like Vulpix or unknown.
Unknown.
Yeah, but Reggie Drago V, Dragon type, no weakness, no resistance, 3 retreat cost, 220 HP, 2 attacks, Heavenly Scream, discard 3 cards on top of your deck if you find any energy that way attached to this Pokemon. That's for 1 colorless. The second attack is for 2 grass and a fire. Dragon Laser does 130 and then just 30 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. The V-Star, 280 HP, no weakness, no resistance, just like the V, 3 retreat as well. Its attack for 2 grass and a fire. Dragon Dream. Choose the attack of a dragon-type Pokemon from your discard pile and use it as this attack. And the V-Star power is an ability. Once during your turn, discard the top 7 cards of your deck. Then you can choose up to 2 cards from your discard pile and put them into your hand.
Now, see, when I first saw the V-Star, I love the attack idea. It's almost like Mew 3 again, like Mewtwo and Mew tag team. I was like, cool. And I saw the V-Star. I was like, well, that's not very good. Maybe compare it with Arceus and use his V-Star. But then I had to reread it. I thought it was discard 7 and then choose 2 of those 7 to put in your hand.
Yeah, you can pick any. Yeah.
Any 2. Yeah. So I was like, wait, that's not bad then. You're discarding 7, so that sucks, but hopefully you're discarding some of those dragons you want on the discard pile.
Yeah.
But the fact you can grab any 2 cards, I was like, that is okay now. So I think Reggie Drago, I want it to be good. I want to play it. I'm playing S2E8 Zoroark right now. When this comes out in the next couple 2-3 weeks, I want to really play, dive into Reggie Drago and see if it's good or not. If not, I might jump back on Zoroark. I want Drago to be good. My only issue is some of the Pokemon that you have to play with it are basics as well. The Garchomp, the Flygon, stuff like that. And if you start one of those guys, now what?
Right. And even if you're wanting to, I don't know, do we have any good enough attackers right now that you want to play? Because Giratina is a great attacker, but if you're playing Regidrago, you're probably not playing a Lost Box combination.
Yeah,
And
you're getting rid of your
so
energy
leaving
that way
those-
too. Yeah.
Yeah, and that doesn't seem very good in that archetype right now. And I guess there might be other ones that I'm just missing right now. This might not be one that sees a lot of play, at least at the start for me, but I think there's the potential is always going to be there with dragons coming out in the future.
If we do though, that's the thing, because like the Koraidon and Miraidon, they're colorless from what we saw. They could be going back to dragons being colorless type Pokemon.
Wouldn't that be wild for us to have dragons, then go to colorless, now come back to dragons, and then go back to colorless? What?
Yeah, not quite.
They
sure.
could do that, or they could just be not spoiling everything about that too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they haven't shown everything yet.
They can definitely make those dragon types. And even if those guys aren't, that doesn't mean dragon's dead. There could be dragons down the line. In the next couple sets.
I think Drago is probably I'm going to say the hot take. I think Drago is probably the best archetype that'll come out of Silver Tempest. I think he's playable. I think you can do his shtick. Gazer pointed out the main problem, because the two attackers you do want are basics. But I think they printed the card that'll save most of us from that in Volo already. So you can hopefully switch out of them and then just discard them. But Jake pointed out, I think Giratina is a trap. I think people will realize real quick that Lost Zoning Energy in a non-Lasso deck will probably not be good, like fun time. So that
it's not like playing Colress in a random deck that you just draw cards. This is
You're losing resources.
Yeah,
I think
resources that you can't get back easily.
Yeah, I think people is thinking like, oh well, get Drago, discard Giratina V-Star, and slap. I don't think it'll work like that. I think you're gonna play a much cagier game with Garchomp and maybe Flygon, because both of their attacks are pretty, like, really good attacks, just overcosted. So Drago makes them cheaper and easier to attack with. So I think he's gonna rely on the back of those two, and then have a Giratina like cleanup crew, and a Duraludon just hit a reliable 220.
So
I can hit anyone with 220.
Looking at Japan already, the most popular Regidrago archetype is actually a Lost Engine Regidrago archetype.
It might work that way.
They're playing a 3-3 line with one Giratina V-Star, one Goodra V-Star, and one Duraludon VMAX, and then Lost Engine, typical Lost Engine stuff. You don't see the Flygon and the Garchomp too often from what I've seen so far. The way I build it for a good spoiler alert for a video that I recorded that's not out. I play it with the Dragonite that accelerates energy, like similar to ADP.
Yep,
and then you've got Appleton that can smack through special energy. And so if you're reading into the Lugia meta, there's special energy all across their board at 70 times. But no Lost Engine stuff in there, with just using Gardenia to load it up and rock it out. But I mean, I've seen everything from it playing Leafy on V to get an extra grass energy down to, like you said, the Flygon and the Garchomp. And then just, there's even some that have like the single strike Dialga in there that can just hit for 210, giving you all the different variances of different numbers. So you got your 200, your 210, your 220, your 280, your 180.
That's why I think the deck is going to be probably the most viable. I don't know if the attackers finding the attackers is what really defines it.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt someone in the world finding the right mix. Because Mewtwo and Mew GX was a thing that, I mean, granted it had a little bit more versatility, but our dragon Pokemon we've had for Sword, like throughout the last few sets, have had some pretty bonkers attacks because they're harder to get off. And this just makes it a little bit more streamlined. So I think there will be a mix where it can be playable. It might not be it might only make tier like we were talking about like Blissey tier or Zoroark tier, where it's only one maybe makes top 8, but I think it'll be compete.
Yeah, it's hard to say which direction people are going to try and build it out of the gate. But again, looking at the Japanese results, they're all over the place. There's so many variants so far. And yeah, if we continue to get dragons, then it'll just continue to be good forever.
Yep.
I want it to be good. I want it to be good. The dragon I built, I looked at that and I thought about that too, Subin. The lost build as an option. I hear people in my locals talking about building with Arceus, and I'm like, that's kind of risky, but I want it to be good so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of different options. It's just kind of play testing, seeing what feels best, and determining what engine you want to go with, what attackers you want to go with, and make your judgment calls from there. But yeah, that early meta is going to be interesting just to see what people come up with, if that's the best build, if there can be a better build, and kind of go from there. Bring back another Dragapult.
Yeah, we've never had a dragon type Dragapult yet.
Right?
So there you go. That could be cool. They could just make a Dragapult EX or something that's dragon type, and you can technically use its attacks through Regidrago.
Right.
Dragapult. Let's move on to the next topic. I'm thinking about Dragapult
There's
now.
tons of other cards in the set. I mean, there's Superior V and V Star. I don't think they're.
Yes.
Oh, you want
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll pull them up.
You just ruined my beautiful dreams of Dragapult. Talking about what? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll pull them up.
I'm the only one on the Superior train, right?
I don't think it's bad.
Sell us, Chuck. Sell us.
Okay.
I need Justin Basil in here. Justin Basil, he tested these things out. That's not it. It's not it. But go ahead. Let's hear it.
I'm on board for the Superior train. I think I'll be playing it.
I have the text if you want me to give that out.
If you want to.
210 HP, 1 retreat cost, weak to fire, no resistance. The V has Noble Light, heal 30 from each Pokemon in play. That's not just your Pokemon, that's everyone's Pokemon. And then for grass and 2 colorless, it does 120 for Solar Beam. The V-Star, 270 HP with the attack Royal Tornado for a grass and 2 colorless, 190, and move any amount of energy from your Pokemon to your other Pokemon in any way you like. And then the V-Star power is an attack for 1 grass, 60 times the amount of energy attached to this Pokemon, and then switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon.
So this deck is gonna make Cheryl awesome, I think. Like the deck idea in my head is it's gonna 2-shot everything and just never, hopefully, give up prizes because of the attack and the way it works and the fact that it as a Pokemon has free retreat. So you just literally need 2 Superior Vs and you just switch constantly. And you can obviously fill out your bench with other Pokemon and put energy around, but then you also have a 1-shot swing with his V-Star power if you need be. So I have high hopes for it because I think grass needs a deck in the meta. I think grass is just always overlooked. But I think it has a cheeky way of just being able to play around a lot of things. In my way. With that attack.
Being able to move the energy reminds me of things of like Gardevoir and Sylveon Tag Team, Sandaconda and stuff like that. So that's always a cool concept. It just needs to find the right meta to get there. And I mean, also too, if with Cheryl though, as you mentioned, like if any of your evolution Pokemon have damage on them, they have to discard the energy. So if you're going up against Lost Box, they 90-90 snipe you with Greninja on your 2 Superior, and you play that Cheryl, oh, what are you going to do then? All your energy's gone, and then they can spread counters with Sableye and so on and so forth. That's where I'm afraid of that strategy falling flat.
I think you just bank attacks after attack on that. Just never give them the one you want. Because you just hit one, you hit one, you 1-hit KO everything, and you just keep switching to the one that you want to attack with the next turn. Yes, they can spread damage counters on, but if played right, they'll either have to waste damage counters on Cricketune or they'll have to put 310 damage counters on two of these Sir Vipers. Because I think Krickettoon's also like the best grass card right now. That 40 HP bump on grass Pokemon puts grass Pokemon in a weird math for what you're getting in prizes.
What's Superior's HP?
270.
Isn't it 370 or 270?
370. Whoo!
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, then that's BDIF.
So it's 310 with the Krickettoon, and you're like, well, things can hit 310, but
that's my bait.
yeah, you can, but you have to do VMAX damage for 2 prizes. So you have to get VMAX resources without like a Hawlucha, something like that. So you have to expend extra resources to take less prizes, in my eyes. Whereas if you pair it with a VMAX, you have to spend even more. You usually put yourself outside of like anybody's range, usually. But
I think of Tina. Tina doesn't. It just needs a choice belt. Boom, 310. Zora choice belt 310. Mew has to climb a little bit more. You're right, but I just don't think even with the Krickettoon, which I love the Krickettoon. I tried to play that Krickettoon with Lilligant, and I tried to play it with Delmise and Zarude. I couldn't get it to function. I like the Krickettoon, but I just don't think it's chunky enough to really make use of Cheryl the way you're thinking it's going to.
You may be right. I haven't found a grass deck that works yet in the format, but I'm not.
And he's tried. He's tried.
Yeah, and Lilligant's
I had a Lilligant list. That
Yeah.
kind of did things.
Hey,
Kind of.
Lilligant had
Chuck
its
made stream with Lilligant.
Lilligant had its dream run at the Full Grip 1K right after Brilliant Stars was released. I got 9th place. I think 9th or 10th place.
You are the best Lilligant player out there, Chuck. I think you have had the best success with it.
It's a deck that just has to go first. But I have to try a different grass deck. I just have an affinity for grass at the moment. So
Also,
I have high hopes. It's probably misplaced, but I'm putting them there.
Now, did you ever try Delmise? Did you ever try
Yes.
anything else? There's Rude that can hit for 220.
Sleepy Dreepy was all in the Delmise VMAX wagon for
I was too.
minute.
When Gardenia came out, I was like, oh, Delmise is going to be the BDIF. I was too.
Yeah. Gardenia is really the thing that's triggered it because of before my mention of Centiskorch Welder. I'm just trying to find my glory days of attaching 2 energy and then doing big damage. So Lilligant was like the closest I've gotten doing something good. Delmise is good. I've tried Lilligant and Delmise. I've tried Delmise by himself. Arc Delmise is cool, but I just want it to be pure grass. I'm on Leafeon right now, which is probably the closest I'm getting to being super competitive. But that's mostly because I have an Inteleon engine to do fun Inteleon things.
Did you see Israel Sosa's Leafeon Lost
Dirty.
Engine decks?
Yeah,
SLC, yeah.
Shout out to Dirty.
I think Leafeon can still do work in the meta. I'm surprised he did it with Lost Zone. I've been experimenting with Inteleon, but I mean, it's a deck that is easily, played around and kind of like countered if you you know what it's doing. So,
all right. Any other cards that you guys want to cover from the set?
Anyone interested in the Vulpix? The Vulpix V-Star, I think it prevents. Does it do 160 shreds through anything, and you prevent damage from Pokemon with abilities, right?
Yeah, but if you just get gusted around, I think it could be a Palkia partner, maybe. I don't know how well. I've also potentially seen it, I think, once or twice paired up with Vikavolt of all things. So the 2 of those together.
And then the last card I'm somewhat interested in, I'm definitely going to play with this on PTCGL, probably on stream, is that Hisuian Arcanine V.
Yeah.
I don't know why it piques my interest. I don't know why.
I like that as well. Like the gimmick of it. I think it'd be cool to make work and then do like a big close with it. I think it'd be a really cool addition to a deck. We've talked about that before, and I'm just a big fan of Arcanine, a Hisuian Arcanine. So
yeah.
Well, we hit all those nails in the head. So at this point, we can move into our stonks. where we want to go ahead and cover the ups and downs of financial value of cards in the game and or playability ups and downs. Gazer, you sounded like you were ready to go on a couple of them.
You kind of just, I mean, my stonks was just single strike overall, just single. I think single strike's gonna rise up, but you literally went down a list of every single strike card that could be playable in the next 3 weeks, and I'm like, well, now what do I talk about? But yeah, just with people trying out different things with Lugia, I think a lot of people are gonna gravitate towards single strike being a thing because that single strike energy, that plus 20 is so good, and if you play that with I hate to say it, I don't like the card, I don't think it's good. Tornadus, the V Max, you could pair it with single strike energy with powerful colors energy, and it can start doing some big numbers. I don't think it's a great card, but the fact that it can do major numbers and you can always recycle those single strike energies using your urn.
Yep.
I think that could be a pretty good combo. So
Yeah.
I think single strike's going to see an uptick in play in the next month because people are going to test things out, try things, see what works, see what doesn't, and then it might drop back down. It probably will, but I think we'll see it for a while, for a month.
Yeah, the Tornadus is a little bit weird on that one, though. Just because you have to discard a stadium to do the extra 120. So without a stadium in play, you're hitting 120 plus the powerful colorless and the single strike energy, which you're going to need a lot to even get to relevant numbers. So there has to be a stadium there. So that's going to be a deck where you're going to play like the 4 tower and then something else on top of it to guarantee that there's a stadium, because your opponent could just be like, all right, cool, I'm not going to put a stadium down, and then your damage sucks now.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I don't know if single strike's going to see a lot of success. There is a lot of work that needs to go into it, so it sounds a little clunky to me just in general, plus having to find that stadium, plus especially if you are going with the Tornadus, he is a little weak. So a lot of these decks that are a lot more consistent can probably just outrace it and beat it anyways. Will it see a lot of play over the next month? I can see that, but I don't know if that necessarily means the stock would go up. Maybe kind of just stagnant, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to have a lot of hype to really move the price in general. I mean, if you look at hyped cards and prices, like Gudra V-Star is still like $3 on average, and it won a regional. So it's
fair point.
And also battle styles and Chilling Reign specifically were printed into oblivion. You can walk into most LGSs and still find booster boxes of those two sets for $90 to $100 on average. And they have multiple cases of those sets. People just weren't buying into them. The collectors weren't buying into them for a hot minute, and it's everywhere. And I don't see them moving too crazy.
You think battle styles and Chilling Reign will be what used to be evolutions? Just we have extras of these, throw them in stuff, put them in boxes.
Super long term. I mean, it took Empoleon to have a lot of hype to move the value of the card drastically.
Art still sucks.
And
those sets, that still wasn't. It still doesn't perform.
And see, those sets had so many. That was the first sets that brought back alt arts, right?
Battle styles had. Yep. The two.
So I thought that just based off that, collectors would want them, but I guess not.
The six alt arts in there. The two of each of the Urshis, the Empoleon, and the Tyranitar.
Yeah.
So. And
I thought based off that,
one more there. Wasn't there one like I don't remember which one. It was kind of an ugly card. I think it was like not a Slow King, but there was something. There was something else there.
The Slow King was Chilling Reign,
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Chilling Reign stuff has started to drop drastically in value too when it comes to those alt arts, because those boxes are just so plentiful. You guys have any stonks to roll off of?
I got an idea, kind of in the vein of Gazer's like single strike, but I want to say alt art dragon cards. Ooh. Like your dragon, like your Garchomps, your maybe those will go up. I don't think Flygon ever got one.
I think Flygon has a full art, yeah.
Yeah, full art. But I could see those guys go in a little bit of a bump.
Maybe that
Just
Duraludon.
because-
We have like 2 different Duraludons to choose from, don't we?
Yeah, the Duraludon might get a little bit of bump because I think Duraludon is like I think that you're gonna have to put that one in. It's just because that shred attack is just the best shred attack.
They
so.
could even have the one that we didn't get the alt into the trainer gallery of the set.
Yeah.
We never did get that one, did we?
No, where Raihan's like on top of it, like
Yeah, we never
screaming
did
out.
get that one.
That could potentially be one of the alts in there.
Yeah, I said we had 2. We don't have 2. We never got that one. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my thing of something that may not be high value now that might get a bump. Because Drago, I think the hype around him is enough that those all will get a little bit of a bump upon release.
I mean, it's really hard to say. I think Lugia opens up the possibilities for a lot of different colorless Pokemon. It probably isn't going to see a bump, but I'm just going to go with Salamence. I've always thought that card had a lot of potential, and if we maybe see some success, potentially, we can see that the card stock rise a little bit at the end of its
I
life.
agree. I agree with that. Darkness Ablaze was in that weird time where the scalping just started because of Charizard VMAX, and anything that wasn't Charizard VMAX got kind of like shoved off to the side. Even Crobat didn't last too long at the high value. So who knows how many of those have been bulked out and shipped out across the board to where like the population of that card on like say TCGplayer, for example, could be super low enough to where like one good placement because of how old it is, how out of print that set is, could drive that VMAX up there. So yeah, I can see that for sure.
And I still have a 4/4 playset of that card because I fell into the trap thinking it was going to be a good deck. So hopefully we can make it work. Maybe I can drive the price up and then sell my cards.
There you go. Make that money, pay for a trip.
Yeah,
pay for a new deck. Go. Right on.
Pay for my Toronto trip.
There you go.
Got to catch them early while people are still trying to try it out. Hey, I got Salamence. If you want them, I got them. They're right here.
Now, we haven't talked a lot about the tablet, but in terms of stonks, if you haven't got them now, get your Lost Vacuums and even pick up a couple extra tool scrappers just in case.
Yeah, or jammers.
Jammers, because that tablet is going to be everywhere.
And they're hollow rares, so they're going to have the same issue as Sableye. I think those 2 tablets are going to be easily a few dollars a piece.
Yeah,
depending on the pull rates. And being hollow rares, we saw Sableye at its peak be $3 to $4 a piece.
Is that the first time we've got an item tool like hollow rare? Like first time like I've seen supporters.
Yeah.
A tool card.
Yeah.
Be the rare.
Not counting A specs or secret.
We got in
rares.
gold once, but just straight out.
If you disregard A spec, then yes.
Because
Flare.
I thought
Flare
they would,
gear, or whatever they were, the Team Flare. Like the head.
Yeah, they were
all head ringer and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all at least like fancy art card, like a little bit of a more pizzazz to it. Like these are just straight tools. I thought they would avoid that because the 6 and 7 year olds that want to just open flashy cards don't really want tools.
Yeah.
But hey,
Mom, I didn't get anything. Throw this away.
All I got was a stupid tablet.
That's some type of tablet thing. It's a stone. Throw it away. And it's
I got a rock.
Yeah, this card's not good.
So for my stonks, and this is going to be a hot take, I warn everybody every set, don't buy into pre-sales. So same thing as always. Please don't buy pre-sale prices of these cards. But also, a product drops this Friday, the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection. Please be smart. There are multiple waves of the product coming out over the next couple of months. Do not pay more than MSRP for this thing. Don't do it. Just don't. Like, go line up at GameStop and Walmart and Target. Order it online and try and find it from a trusted seller. But please don't pay $150, $200, $250, $300 for this box for these Charizards. And people are already pre-selling these Charizards on TCGplayer The V Star is selling for $55. The V Max is selling for $60, and I can't quite find the V with super ease right this second, but I'm sure it's still insane value. Yeah, $47 for these listings. So don't buy the premium collection unless you're getting it for MSRP. Please just be smart about your money.
Yeah, I mean the aside from those Charizards, like, it's not worth it for the packs you're getting.
Yeah, you get 16 packs. The cheapest pre-sale for the product itself is $200 on TCGplayer, but like Walmart and Target both had orders up for days. It's had multiple waves on the Pokemon Center, and allegedly allocations for LGSs are mid to high on them. And so if your LGS is selling it for 120, good on them. Congratulations. You work, or you go to a nice store who cares about their community and their players. But if you walk into an LGS and they're selling this thing for above MSRP within like an unreasonable amount, then you should just don't support that store. Just turn around and walk out.
Right.
Like, I second that.
Fair point. You're always here to help us and save us, Subin. Now, anything that's off the top of your head, Stu, from Silver Tempest, we should watch out for. That's gonna might get jacked up in price and will drastically drop later on.
I think everything is always just jacked up at the beginning. So just
watch out for everything.
Just watch out for everything. Be smart. Buy what you really want. Print proxies, or be like Jake and draw them on paper and shove it in a sleeve.
And just shove it in a sleeve.
Just,
that's right.
Just because it's not even legal for play until the middle of November. Actually, towards the end, release date's the 11th, so it'd be the second Friday afterwards. So like, not even until almost December, the cards aren't legal for play yet. So don't overspend on cards when you can just print proxies and play them for free. And sometimes TOs and judges, like if it's an unsanctioned event, aren't going to stop you from playing with proxies.
I know in our local stores for the first couple of weeks, since they're not sanctioned events, that we allow proxies.
Mm-hmm. I'm learning that too. Our stores do the same thing. So Jake, I need you to draw up a few Reggie Jagos for me.
I'll do my best.
Let's go.
Yeah, I agree with that too. What you're saying, just if you can wait, like I want to say like 2 weeks after the tournament legal date, like everything just kind of calms down a little bit.
Yeah,
and you can find your Gudras for $3.
The cheapest,
rather than
on average for TCGplayer, is the Saturday night or the Sunday morning after the set drops. So if the release date's the 11th, look for cards on TCGplayer on the 12th and the 13th. And those will probably be the cheapest when the most amount of sellers have all their listings up and the market's flooded with those cards.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah, and then they're just going to go up from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once people start playing it and hyping it up, and the content creators that will say everything in their title is busted or broken or whatever. I'm guilty. I do it. I do it a little bit. I do it a little bit sometimes on some decks where I say it's busted or broken or whatever for the views. But
that's our new B word, man. Bionic. That sounds like that could be a thing, right?
Oh my god,
this deck is bionic.
People are like I think of Bionicles when you say that, like the Legos.
Legos?
Yeah. Oh jeez. Taking it back.
But yeah, that's
last card from Silver Tempest.
Okay. Excuse me.
Because I know about the end. I know about the end.
Okay.
But I just forgot about a card in Silver Tempest. We were talking about bad starters. Chestnut's bad, but I think his V could be interesting. Do you guys remember that one? What it does?
No, I already closed all that out.
I already forgot about Chestnut V already.
I think for your active Chestnut in play, if it takes damage, put 3 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon. But it says your active Chestnut, so it's not. It doesn't say this Pokemon. It says your active Chestnut. So if I have, wait a minute. So if I play Chestnut, and look, Chuck, you'll like this. It's a grass type. Chestnut, okay. Keck, the Cricketune. Now HP goes to like 270, right?
Yeah.
I could put Big Charm on there.
300.
300, okay.
Well, you can actually use a cape because he's not a max.
Cape, yeah. I could put a cape on there.
So
that's what, 320. So it's out of that 310 range. That's perfect. And then it says if your active chestnut takes damage. So I can have 4 chestnut in play. If the active one takes damage, I get to put 12 damage counters on my opponent's Pokemon.
Yep.
Or, the attacking Pokemon.
Or, Sableye can just put 12 damage counters wherever they want. And it's a single pricer. And it's in a much better deck.
The problem lies when you counterattack for 130 damage, and you've only done 250 damage with all those chestnut V's inactive.
Just sitting around like,
just
we do
sitting
that? I don't
around.
know.
And
what
then,
do we do?
And then a Giratina just says, bye, by flipping a V-Star marker.
Giratina changes everything.
Flygon can do 20 damage.
All right, Gazer. You've had enough. You've had enough copium today.
I want Drago to work, man. I really do.
I went down the chestnut hole, and it just stops at his attack. He just doesn't do. The big guy doesn't do any damage, so
he will score more touchdowns than the Steelers.
Yeah, he may actually do that.
Sad times.
It is bad times.
Speaking of bad times and sad times, we're at the end now. So thank you for joining us. At this point in time, the floor is yours. Shout yourselves out. Plug your socials. Anything else that you want to talk about, take it away, gentlemen.
I am Charlie, co-host of the Triple P podcast. You can find me on Twitter at WatchWhimsy or at Paid Pokepod, and or my co-host. You can get.
Yep. So I'm Jake, Pinux1 at Twitter, also at Pit Pokepod. We do weekly podcasts. You can find them all the podcasting platforms. We release our podcast every week on Wednesdays. And eventually we'll go back to live podcasting. Just life is kind of getting in the way of being able to do that fun stuff. But we still have not missed a week. We don't plan on missing any time through all these busy times. So we will still get content out there, even if it's not completely live. But those are the biggest platforms. You can find us on Twitter and on our, any podcasting platform.
Yep. And if you want to come talk Pokemon, we have a Discord server. I always like to plug it because that's my most active social media, and I like talking Pokemon in there. So
I'll make sure to get a link for it in the description of the audio and all your socials and everything as always. And if you're watching the video version, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And their handles have been below them the entire time as well. So see them on the screen.
That's what that was saying?
Yeah.
I thought they were just saying about hockey and Whimsicots. I didn't.
No, that's their Twitter handles. That's what the @'s for, Gazer. The A with the circle around it.
I thought that was an ampersand.
No.
He's more familiar with the hashtag Blame Gazer.
Oh, jeez.
Yep, hashtag Blame Gazer.
Yeah, that's the best one. And also don't forget to buy your hashtag Blame Gazer merch to support Gazer coming to the East Coast for regionals. Use code Blame Gazer for 10% off your entire purchase. That also applies to the regular Gust of One podcast logo merch. If you want to buy that, that will also support Gazer's broke butt coming to the East Coast.
Get there one
day. We need you out here. We need to talk Pokemon and meet up in real life.
Yeah, definitely. I'll bring some Del Taco for you too.
Oh, thank you. Please.
It'll be cold, but whatever.
Be a little cold.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a thought that counts.
But no, fellas, this was a joy, man.
Thank you.
Sue and I did like a round table kind of thing one time with the Shuffle Squad, and I don't know, I enjoy those moments too. But this was nice, sitting down with like a little 2-on-2 action, playing like playing some basketball. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. I have no idea what that's like. I've never played basketball before.
Oh, stupid!
Well, I think Triple P's got this then, because we have some athletes on this side.
There you go. You better step up, Gazer.
As long as I'm better than 9 card, that's all I care about.
Yeah,
I can beat 9 card. We're good.
We'll see about that.
But no,
go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was going to say this wraps it up.
Yeah, I was
go
going
ahead.
to do the same. I was going to do the same thing. It's fine.
Well, you have the better microphone than me, so go ahead.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us here at the Gust of Wind. Also, don't forget to go listen to their episode where we were on there before this recording. So, and hopefully you enjoy the little segment. Or do we need to like re-segment it back to?
I think we need to re-segment it.
Yeah, we do.
It's not a bad idea. Quick though, Subin, I want you to say this 3 times fast before we go. Pittsburgh Pokemon Podcast peeps.
I'll probably.
I think he's breaking up.
I can't hear you guys.
Subin, Pittsburgh. Are you there? Hello, Subin.
There's some wind breaking.
That's the
That's the wrong wind.
Oh no,
that's the wrong gust of wind. I gotta get out of here.